Ladies and gentlemen, gather round. Let's take a wild ride, shall we? Now, before you think I'm about to unleash some life-altering advice, hold on to your seats because this speech isn't your usual motivational mumbo-jumbo. No, this one has a twist because I believe in the power of transformation and the brilliance of, well, believing in yourself. You see, I had a moment, yes, a moment that, like a lightning bolt, struck me right in the chest and sent me running toward a life I never knew was possible. Picture this, I was just a regular Joe, not a care in the world except for one tiny little thing. My dreams were shackled. I was shackled by self-doubt, by fear, by the belief that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't good enough to follow my heart. Now we've all been there, right? But here's the twist. One speech, one electrifying moment, made me realize that there is no greater power than our own belief. Yes, the speech I heard wasn't from some high-powered guru on a stage in front of thousands. Nope, it was a simple, honest statement that cracked open my brain like a coconut. And that's when I decided to break free. I decided to dream big, risk everything, and embrace the ridiculousness of it all. So let me tell you, this speech will give you more than words. It'll ignite a flame inside you that refuses to be extinguished. Ready? Here we go. The power of imagination is one of the most incredible gifts we have as human beings. It's this vast, unbounded ability to create worlds, to dream up possibilities that haven't even existed yet. And yet, so many of us use this gift sparingly, holding back, dreaming too small. But why? Who told us that our dreams have limits? Why should we confine ourselves to what seems achievable, to what's realistic, when the universe itself is boundless? Imagination is the tool that takes us beyond the constraints of the present, that allows us to envision a future we've never seen before. Think about it. Everything around you, the phone you're holding, the car you're driving, the buildings you see, started as someone's imagination. It's a force that can break the walls of the ordinary and push us into the extraordinary. So don't waste this magnificent power by thinking small. Dream as big as the stars. Create without fear. If you can imagine it, you can build it. And the only thing holding you back is the belief that it's impossible. So go ahead, stretch that imagination to its limits and beyond. The universe is waiting for you to fill it with your dreams. Fear is something that we all experience in different forms. Whether it's fear of failure, rejection, or even the unknown, it can paralyze us, make us hesitate, and even stop us from taking the risks we need to move forward in life. But here's the truth. Fear is nothing more than a paper tiger. It looks big and menacing from a distance, like something that could tear us apart. But when we get up close and confront it, we realize it has no real power. It's just an illusion. Fear thrives on our avoidance of it, growing larger and more intimidating the more we refuse to face it. But when we finally take that step, when we stand in front of it and look it straight in the eye, we see it for what it truly is, just a creation of our mind. It's harmless. It can't touch us unless we let it. Every time we confront our fears, we strip them of their power, diminishing their control over us. The moment we stop running, we realize that what we were most afraid of was never as dangerous as we imagined. So don't let fear rule your life. Face it head on and watch it crumble into nothing. Because just like a paper tiger, it's only fierce until you decide to call its bluff. Persistence is the one thing that separates those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream about it. It's easy to dream big, to think about what you want to accomplish, but what truly makes the difference is the ability to keep going when the going gets tough. Everyone hits obstacles along the way, whether it's failure, criticism, or moments of self-doubt, but it's how you respond to those obstacles that defines your journey. When you feel like you've hit a wall, when you think everything is falling apart, that's the moment you have to dig in and push harder. The greatest achievements in history didn't come from those who gave up at the first sign of difficulty. They came from those who refused to quit, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. Persistence doesn't mean blindly charging forward without direction. It means showing up every single day, even when it feels like nothing is happening, trusting that every step, no matter how small, is getting you closer to your goal. It's about finding the strength to keep going when the world tells you to stop. So when you hit that wall, when you feel like you've reached the end of your rope, remember this: it's not the end, it's just another opportunity to push a little harder, to climb a little higher, and to prove that you can't be stopped. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without failure. In fact, failure is an essential part of the journey towards success. Too often, we're taught to fear failure, to see it as something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is one of our most powerful teachers. Each time you fail, you're not moving farther away from success. You're getting one step closer to it. Think about it. Every mistake, every setback, every time things don't go as planned, is simply a lesson in disguise. It's giving you information, showing you what doesn't work, helping you refine your approach and get better. Every failure builds resilience and understanding, making you stronger and more capable of handling the challenges that lie ahead. It's through these experiences that you gain the wisdom and perseverance to reach your goals. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by learning from it, by using it as fuel to keep going. So don't be afraid of failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it as a stepping stone on your path to success. Because failure isn't the end of the road, it's just the beginning of a new chapter in your story. Life is a wild ride, full of unexpected twists, challenges, and moments that seem almost too bizarre to be real. If you pay too much attention to every little misstep or confusing turn, it's easy to get bogged down by frustration, stress, or worry. But what if, instead of getting caught up in the seriousness of it all, you just let go and laughed? Life is absurd, and when you truly accept that, it becomes a whole lot easier to enjoy. Why? Because when you recognize the absurdity and the chaos, you free yourself from the weight of trying to control everything. The reality is you can't control everything, and most of what happens is completely out of your hands, but you can choose how you respond. When things don't go as planned, when the universe throws something completely ridiculous in your path, take a step back and laugh. Find humor in the craziness. After all, life is much more fun when you don't take it too seriously. You'll encounter weird moments, awkward situations, and random events that seem like they belong in a comedy sketch. And instead of letting those moments frustrate you, let them lighten the load. Laugh at the mess, laugh at the surprises, laugh at the oddities, because the more you laugh, the less power those absurd moments will have over you. Life is short, and it's too precious to spend it weighed down by the absurdities. Embrace them, laugh in their face, and enjoy the ride. Believing in the impossible is one of the most empowering choices you can make. Too often, we let the limitations of others define what we think is possible for ourselves. People will try to tell you that something can't be done, that it's too big, too wild, too unrealistic. But here's the thing, those limitations are only real if you accept them. The moment you decide to believe in the impossible, you're giving yourself the power to break free from the chains of doubt and limitation. The truth is, everything that has ever been achieved was once considered impossible by someone. Think about all the inventions, the discoveries, the feats of human achievement that were once scoffed at by others. If those who made history had listened to the doubters and naysayers, they would have never pushed forward and made the impossible real. You are the master of your own destiny. The path you choose to walk, the goals you set, and the dreams you chase are all in your hands. If you limit yourself by accepting what others say is possible, you are settling for a life that is less than what you're capable of. But if you dare to dream beyond the conventional, beyond what's considered practical, that's where the magic happens. That's where innovation begins. When you believe in the impossible, you open yourself up to opportunities and solutions that others may overlook. You start to see things differently, finding ways around obstacles that seem insurmountable to others. The impossible isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace, because it's in the pursuit of what others think can't be done that we discover our true potential. So don't let anyone tell you what's possible or impossible. Your belief in the impossible is the spark that can set your life on fire and turn your wildest dreams into reality. For too long, we've been conditioned to think that someone else will come along to rescue us, to solve our problems, or to make our lives better. We wait for a mentor, a partner, a leader, or even some kind of sign from the universe to give us the direction we need. But here's the hard truth. The only person who can change your life is you. You are the protagonist in your own story, and no one else can play that role for you. The moment you realize this, something incredible happens. You stop waiting for outside forces to swoop in and take charge, and you start to take ownership of your life. You stop being a passive observer and become the active creator of your own destiny. Being your own hero means understanding that you are the one responsible for making things happen. It's about taking control of your actions, your decisions, and your mindset. There will be no magical intervention, no fairy godmother waving a wand to make everything perfect. You have to take the reins. And while that might feel daunting at first, it's also incredibly empowering. You are capable of more than you think. All the strength, courage, and resilience you need to face life's challenges are already inside you. You just have to tap into them. Don't wait for someone else to come and fix things, because that person is never coming. The world isn't going to hand you everything on a silver platter, but what it will do is provide you with countless opportunities to step up, to rise to the occasion, and to be your own hero. So stop looking for someone to save you and start saving yourself. The change you're waiting for begins with you, and when you take control, you'll realize that you have the power to shape your own story, to conquer your fears, and to overcome anything life throws your way. It's time to step into the role of the hero you were always meant to be. Sometimes when we feel stuck in life, it's not because there's something wrong with us or with our circumstances, it's because we're looking at the situation from the same tired perspective. We get so accustomed to seeing things from one angle that we fail to realize there's an entirely different way to approach the problem. But here's the thing, shifting your perspective is like changing the lens through which you view the world. When you change how you see things, everything around you changes too. Think about it. How often have you faced a challenge and felt like there was no way out, but then someone else offers a different viewpoint, a fresh perspective, and suddenly the problem doesn't seem so impossible? It's not that the situation itself has changed, it's that your way of looking at it has. That's the power of perspective. When you look at life through a fixed lens, you only see the roadblocks, the limitations, and the reasons why something can't be done. But when you open your mind to new ways of thinking, new solutions emerge. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. Changing your perspective isn't just about viewing things differently, it's about being open to new possibilities, to the idea that things don't always have to be the way they seem. Sometimes all it takes is a little shift in thinking to unlock doors you didn't even know were there. You might realize that the problem you've been wrestling with is just a temporary setback, or that the challenge is actually an opportunity for growth. When you see things from a new angle, you stop feeling stuck because you recognize that there are infinite ways to move forward. It's like walking into a room full of mirrors. From one angle, you might think you're trapped, surrounded with no way out. But take a step to the side, and suddenly the mirrors reveal a new door. By shifting your perspective, you open yourself up to the infinite possibilities that were always there, waiting for you to see them. So if you feel stuck, don't be afraid to change your viewpoint. Embrace a new angle and watch as the world around you transforms in ways you never imagined. For most of our lives, we've been taught to seek approval, whether it's from our parents, peers, teachers, or society at large. We've been conditioned to look for validation before we take action, make decisions, or even express ourselves. But here's a truth that many people are afraid to accept. The world doesn't need another carbon copy of someone else. The world doesn't need you to fit into a mold that someone else created. What it needs is you, authentically, unapologetically, and fully yourself. The constant need for approval can hold us back from living our true potential. When we're focused on what others think, we make decisions based on their expectations, not our own desires or values. We end up living lives that are not our own, constantly measuring ourselves against the standards of others. But when we let go of that need for approval, we free ourselves. We give ourselves permission to be who we truly are, without worrying about whether people will like it, approve of it, or accept it. This doesn't mean we stop caring about others or their feelings. It simply means we stop letting their opinions dictate our worth. It's about recognizing that your value doesn't come from someone else's approval. You don't need validation to be worthy of success, love, or happiness. You are already enough. When you stop seeking approval, you open up space for your true self to emerge, and that's when you begin to attract the people and opportunities that align with your authenticity. The right people will appreciate you for who you truly are, not for the version of yourself you've molded to please others. Being unapologetically yourself is not about being rebellious for the sake of rebellion, it's about honoring your uniqueness. It's about embracing what makes you different, quirks and all. Your individuality is your superpower. The more you step into your true self, the more you realize that you don't need anyone's approval to be extraordinary. You have the power to shape your own life, to make decisions based on what feels right for you, and to live a life that aligns with your own values and purpose. So stop trying to fit into someone else's version of success or happiness. Let go of the need for approval and be the person you were always meant to be. Too often, we get caught up in the weight of life's challenges, the constant grind, and the pressure to succeed. And we forget that life isn't meant to be lived as a tragedy. We start taking everything too seriously, worrying about every little detail, stressing over what we don't have, and fretting about what's going wrong. But here's the thing, life is a comedy, not a tragedy. It's meant to be laughed at, danced through, and celebrated, even in the face of chaos. When we take life too seriously, we lose the ability to see the humor in the absurdity of it all. Life throws curveballs at us, and some of them are downright ridiculous. There's no shortage of moments that seem like they belong in a slapstick comedy. From the awkward situations we find ourselves in to the bizarre things that happen when we least expect them. If we get so focused on the seriousness of it all, we miss out on the joy that comes from embracing the absurdity. Life is chaotic and unpredictable, and that's precisely what makes it so fun and beautiful. It's about shifting your mindset. Instead of seeing every setback as a catastrophe, see it as part of the grand, funny adventure that is life. Instead of stressing about getting everything just right, take a moment to enjoy the ride, laughter and all. The world is full of little absurdities that can make us smile if we just allow ourselves to laugh at them. Maybe things aren't going according to plan, but that's okay, plans are overrated anyway. The best moments often come when we least expect them. Think about the most memorable moments of your life. How many of them are full of perfect scripted success? Probably not many. The most unforgettable moments are the ones where you let go, where you didn't take yourself so seriously, where you allowed yourself to find the humor in the mess and to dance through the chaos. Life is not a race to some distant perfect destination. It's a series of moments, big and small, that are meant to be experienced with joy, laughter, and a sense of celebration. So stop waiting for everything to fall into place before you enjoy it. Life will never be perfect, and that's the beauty of it. It's all about how you approach it. Choose to see the humor in your struggles. Find the lightness in the heavy moments. And when life gets tough, don't forget to laugh, because in the end, it's not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing the comedy of life and enjoying the ride along the way. As we wrap this up, I want you to remember one thing. You hold the power to shape your own life. It's all in your hands. The dreams, the struggles, the victories, and yes, the failures. Each of these moments is a brushstroke in the masterpiece that is your story. The road may not always be easy, and the path may not always be clear, but that's okay. You are stronger than you think, and every step you take, no matter how small, is a step towards something greater. So take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and trust the journey. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission to succeed, to laugh, or to live the life you deserve. The world needs you to be unapologetically, authentically you. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Embrace the challenges, laugh at the absurdities, and push forward with persistence. When you believe in the impossible, when you see things from a new perspective, and when you decide to be your own hero, there is nothing that can stop you. Now go out there and live your life like it's a comedy, not a tragedy. Dream big, take risks, and never stop moving forward. Because the world is waiting for you to show up and shine. Your time is now, so let's make it count.